All right, y'all, we're officially kicking off our Saturday stream. Vibing out to some OMA right now, covering Dre's 2001 Chronic. Today, we're going to watch the most recent episode of Kill Tony. We're going to analyze some of the stand up from a pure comedy analysis standpoint. I'm not here looking for marketability or Instagram ability or the clips people can take for TikTok. For a little background, I spent about half a decade working and managing one of the greatest stand-up comedy clubs on earth, the Denver Comedy Works. And because of that, I feel like I'm one of the people more uniquely equipped to watch and speak on stand-up comedy from a technique standpoint. Kill Tony is a phenomenal platform for up-and-coming comics, and it's also a great way to watch and analyze stand-up comedy. Actually, you know what? We're going to kick it back a little old school. I feel like watching an older episode of Kill Tony. Those were always one of my favorites. And back in the day, they really had more focus on the technique of comedy and comedy analysis. This might give me a commercial real quick. Here we go. I'm just looking for an old school Kill Tony here. All right, this looks like a good one. Dom Herrera and Steve Simone. I'm a big fan of Steve Simone. Worked with him a few times. Steve Simone has phenomenal merch. He would always show up with cool stickers, a lot of them based on nostalgic things like Garbage Pail Kids, like this one, or often wrestling, which is his big thing. So if you haven't seen Kill Tony, this is the basic premise. The idea is that in comedy, stage time is difficult to come by. And at this time, Kill Tony was filmed at the Los Angeles Comedy Store, where a lot of hopeful people would come by thinking that agents or potential managers would be in the audience and would see them and do well. And because it's highly competitive to get stage time at the Los Angeles Comedy Store, this show has kind of taken form as what it is now, which is an opportunity for comedians to sign up and do only 60 seconds of stand-up comedy. And 60 seconds is a difficult format. So we're going to get into why it's difficult and hopefully watch some good and bad examples of 60-second open mics on this episode. Exactly. New Year's resolution. We would see this at our comedy club all the time. Over 60. It's funny because now there's like hundreds of people that sign up for Kill Tony every week. Thanks, Pat. Steven Tyler Hawking. That's actually a good joke. Tony is not my favorite comedian when it comes to his actual writing ability and his performances on stage, but he's pretty funny off the cuff, man. Oh, Tom Irera is a legend. All right, let's get some comedy going. Bobby Lee did give people money. Accurate. The horse of truth. When someone says something actually truthful, Redbin will hit that drop. This was back in the day when the audio wasn't great. All right, not familiar with this individual. All right, first comic. Hard. All right, first things first, I want to show that this person is clearly taking comedy seriously. You can tell that the moment they enter the stage, and there's a few reasons why. Number one is look at the energy that this person is carrying with them onto the stage. They're coming up there to do a job. They know what they're doing. They're not nervous. They're not over animated. They're giving off the energy as if they've been here before and done this before. And then also, this is one of the best canaries in the cave for if someone has actual stage time and has working on the craft of stand-up comedy. She immediately takes the mic out of the mic stand and puts the mic stand behind her. Watch this. First thing she does, comes on with confidence. Boom, mic, popped out of mic stand. Mic stand goes away while she's talking. Why? Because if you leave the mic stand in front of you as a comedian, the only thing the audience will pay attention to is the mic stand. So she's doing comedy about herself, and as a first joke in a short set, that's actually something that is recommended. It's par for the course. Why? Because you're quickly establishing character, and you're doing material that is authentic and relevant to who you are in your experience. Okay, that's a terrible joke. Uh, it's a long walk, a big setup for not an actual punchline, right? The idea that the joke is that she's not friendly. There's no turn. There's no actual punch. This sounds a lot like a person, just off this first joke, who is frequently told in their daily life, "Oh, you're the funniest," and they go on stage. And purely try to chop up instances in their life that they think are funny. This is someone who I'm guessing is 3 to 5 years into stand-up and hasn't actually worked on the craft much just yet. That's a joke. Okay, so this is something I wanted to talk about. Time management. As a comedian, telling jokes and being confident on stage and knowing your material and getting laughs is a huge part of the craft. But being conscious and cognizant of the amount of time you're taking up on stage is also incredibly important, because the goal of a comedian is to create an experience for the audience member. And if you're running off stage before your time is ready, not only does it create a kind of a disconnect between your material and the audience, but it also doesn't give an opportunity for the next comedian to set themselves up and take the stage efficiently and accurately. So a huge sign of someone who hasn't been doing comedy in the club circuit is this: doing X amount of material and not understanding how long your set is. It's an thing I would often see with open micers at open mics who haven't progressed into those club related sets. So a perfect example of someone who would get in off of a sign up. This person is not 25. That's such a Los Angeles line. Oh my God. That's Tony hitting on her. Oh, ew. 13 years is so embarrassing. Hilarious. Also accurate. That's pretty racist. It does not show. Career open micer. There it is. Actor. Now you got jokes. Patrick Douglas is a man. 818 until I die. I knew Tony was hitting on her. Okay, see, that's a Rodney Dangerfield level example of how pure and concise a joke can be. I have never been with a black girl. That's an 8-word setup. And then, well, not for free. 4-word punchline. In 12 words, he got a bigger pop than her entire set. Um, and the reason comedians want to be concise with their word count is because of laughs per minute, right? The idea is if you trim all the fat out of your jokes, you'll get more pops per set. By cutting those jokes down to their absolute bare bones. You want to disassemble it until you get as pure of a laugh as possible and then build it back up, so that you can have as many of those pops in as quick succession as possible in your set. And someone like Dom Irrera has been doing it so long that he can riff one-liners in 12 words. That's an incredible talent, and that to me is something that should be showcased, and is a reason why Dom Irrera is an absolute legend and doesn't get enough credit for how good he is at actual stand-up comedy. 13 years and she's a feature. Pat. I love Pat. Thanks, Pat. God, I love him. He's so funny. All right, let's skip to the next comic. Sounds like a Jew. Probably pretty good. Banned. Interesting. Dan Nolan? Let's go. All right, this guy's phenomenal. This will be a class in one-liner writing. Look at the mic technique. Rushing on stage. He's got stuff to say. He's ready for his time. He wants to get as much comedy out in his short set as possible. Let's count how many laughs he gets. True. Great first joke. I've heard that one. That's one. All right, he was working on that second one. All right, we're going to skip ahead to the next comic. I love Dan Nolan, but that wasn't his best set. Oops. Oh, Josh Martin? Another legend. Different energy. Accurate. He's really trying. He's fishing for this. He wants this to be a bit more than it's actually funny.